Hey book besties, and welcome back to my channel. Hi, if you're new here, my name's Nash. I like to read and talk about all things books, and in today's video I'm going to be going over my May reading wrap up. I read 17 books this month. Let's get into it. My biggest reading goal for the month of May was to start, and if I liked it, complete the Throne of Glass series by Sarah J Maas. So May 1st, I did just that. I started the series. I really enjoyed it. It hooked me from pretty much the beginning. Celaena is a badass, and I love that. I gave this one a 4 stars. I did also go right into Crown of Midnight. This one, the story picked up more. There was a lot more going on and a lot behind the scenes. Again, the world building was crazy in this series. I gave this one a 4.5 star. And then the most controversial one of them all, The Assassin's Blade. I read this one third, which is Sarah J Maas's recommended reading order, and I completely agree with that. I personally need to have some kind of connection to the characters in the present before I learn about their backstory, because I'm like, I don't even know you, why do I care? So now that I do know them and I'm invested in the series, a prequel fits right in. I really enjoyed this one, 4.25 star. Next, I read Powerful by Lauren Roberts. This is the novella following Powerless, and this is Adina's story. It put me right back in the Powerless world, which I enjoyed. I love Adina. It still made me sad again at the end. I gave this one a 4.25 star. Continuing with the Throne of Glass series, I read Heir of Fire. This one, things were really beefing up. I really enjoyed this. Rowan, oh, I love him. I literally love him so much. He's one of my favorite characters in this entire series. I gave this one a 4.5 star. Next, I read Heartless Hunter by Kristen Cicerelli. This one, everybody was ranting and raving about, so of course I wanted to pick it up, and I was pleasantly surprised. I really enjoyed this one. We follow a witch and a witch hunter. It's got great banter. I gave this one a 5 stars. Then I jumped back to the Throne of Glass series and read Queen of Shadows. This one was my favorite in the entire series because Aelin was just on her bad bitch shit, and I was completely here for that. I love how the story progressed in this one. It was crazy, it was fun, it was sad. I absolutely loved it. 5 stars. Next, I was in my little thriller vibe, so I read The Locked Door by Freida McFadden. Anytime I want a good fantasy palette cleanser and I want a thriller, Freida McFadden is my girl, because this one was crazy. I was not expecting that plot twist at the end. I was really like, what the hell? Of course, I gave this one a 5 stars. At this point, it was time for me to start the tandem read, so I read Empire of Storms and Tower of Dawn. I do recommend the tandem read if you can do it, because I feel like they blend so cohesively and it just feels like one massive story with a ton of characters. I gave Empire of Storms 5 stars and I gave Tower of Dawn 4 stars. I personally just like craziness and chaos more, and I felt like Empire of Storms gave me more of that. And Tower of Dawn, I still did really enjoy it. I like these characters. I like this setting. So I still did enjoy it overall, but yeah, do the tandem read if you can. Then after reading those really long books, I wanted something short. So I picked up Wicked is the Reaper by Nisha J. Tooley. This one is super short. I think it's like 126 pages, but it was so much fun. I didn't feel like because it was short, there were any details or anything left out. It's just she got straight to the point. I really enjoyed that. This one I gave a 4 star. I will be picking up book 2 at some point because I'm definitely interested in continuing the series. And finally, to wrap up the Throne of Glass series, I read Kingdom of Ash. This book is absolutely huge, but I loved it so much. This was a 6-star read. Honestly, I thought it was an incredible book. It was worth every single page because she brought every single loose end you thought there was. To me, anyways, she wrapped everything around. It was perfect. I loved the ending. I was completely satisfied with that. It just was, to me, a perfect book. Then I read my most anticipated book of this month, and that was The Dawn of the Cursed Queen by Amber V. Nicole. I had no trouble jumping back into this world, being with these characters. I love Diana with literally my whole heart because she just is that girl and I love her. Sam Keel, I love him too. This world, this book, this series, you guys, is my absolute favorite. It did not disappoint. I gave this one a 5 star, and now she just has to get me book 4 or whenever that may be, because again, I have a feeling that I'm going to love every single book out of this series because books 1, 2, and now 3 have all been bangers. The buzz finally got to me, so I picked up Light Lark by Alex Astor. This one I really did have a good time. I like the idea of all the rulers coming together to compete against each other to try to break their curse. I did one of the parts in the book actually did piss me off, but overall I enjoyed it. I gave it a 4 star. Then I wanted a little dark romance, so I read Lovely Bad Things by Trisha Wolfe. This one, I really enjoyed the concept. It's kind of like Criminal Minds in a way. She goes to the scene, tries to put herself in the mind of the killer to help solve the case, but it's got a little darker turn to it. I did enjoy the concept of it, but I think at the beginning I was a little confused and honestly a little bored, so I gave this one a 3.5 star. Then I read Brutal Prince by Sophie Lark. This one, a lot of people raved about it, but I was like, I didn't know anything about it. I loved it. I devoured it. From the very first page, I was hooked. Of course, I gave it a 5 star, and I cannot wait to read the rest of Sophie Lark's books. And to wrap up the month, I read newly released A Queen Is Fierce and Deadly by Stasia Stark. This is the conclusion to her Kingdom of Lies series. Y'all, that makes me sad to say because I love this world and these characters because Florian is my guy. But it was a damn good conclusion, in all honesty. It came out on the 30th. I binged it on the 31st. I didn't have any trouble jumping back into the series. She even gave us a recap at the beginning of the book, which I absolutely loved. Authors need to do that more, add a little recap. But of course, I really had a good time, and I'm sad it's over, but I'm also kind of glad because it was a good ending. I gave it a 4.5 star.